We want to turn now back to how we responded as a nation to the attacks. I don't know that anybody was surprised after September 11th, but people in other countries were, but there was this astonishingly visible reaction in form of patriotism and solidarity that has not been seen in the country probably since World War II. Expressions of it were everywhere. We're seeing it again now on the anniversary in the form of the American flag.
I want to give you a sense of what it's like here in Times Square right now, because if you look outside, we have hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of people standing outside, just stopping still, a kind of respectful witness, looking up at the screens where we're broadcasting the pictures. They can't hear the sound. They are simply looking at the wordless horror and standing to show, in a way, respect. And I want to show you something else, because people have been sent home from Times Square, and across the way, the construction workers who were building the Toys R Us building next door to us just hung their signs outside. God bless America, and pray for families and victims.
This is the White House, the flag on the flagstaff at the White House. Boy, that'll happen all over the country now, being lowered to half staff.
Terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of our biggest buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America.
And so this scene on the steps of the Capitol building tonight, just as the sun was going down, was very, very moving.
From the mountains to the prairie, to the ocean, wide we roam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
In some respects, that's an even more touching moment today, because Linda Douglas, our Capitol Hill correspondent, reviewed for us earlier how much tension there was in the leadership of the Congress just before that all occurred, and they were quite upset at the vice president. The leadership had all been taken away and put in safe and secure places. Everybody sort of being politicians and being political leaders, particularly, everybody thought they might want to be in charge. Then they came together on the steps, and it was a magnificent moment. Do you remember how much we talked in the ensuing days after September 11th about the impact on American culture? How would Hollywood react? How would Broadway react? One magazine editor at the time declared that irony was dead. Comedians, do you remember, Dave Letterman included them, Jon Stewart, and others questioned when it would be appropriate to laugh again, and it took them a long time to come back and be themselves, all the while we needed them. The film industry was reassessing, at least at the time, the kind of films that it had in production. But like a lot else about this story, those people who predicted a major transformation of American culture, wrong. Here's ABC's David Wright.
At first, there was culture shock. The trivial and the vain were banished for a while. Commotion simmered down.
9/11, more than anything else, was a disruption of our cultural narrative, of the story we use to understand who we are. It was a shock to the system.
It's terribly sad here in New York City. We've lost 5,000 fellow New Yorkers, and you can feel it. You can feel it. You can see it. It's terribly sad.
Pretty soon, levity became a patriotic duty.
New York City is open for business. Saturday Night Live is one of our great New York City institutions, and that's why it's important for you to do your show tonight.
Can we be funny?
Why start now?
Sometimes a little awkwardly, pop culture struggled to connect.
All right, now it's our turn to help.
After September 11th, we were trying to make sense of it all, searching for meaning. It was a time that separated the artists from the mere celebrity.
Without your sweet kiss, my soul is lost, my friend. Tell me, how do I begin again? My city's in ruin.
You're simply writing in a new world. You're living in a new world. The world was very different. And what you were thinking and the way you were writing was contextualized by new experience and by the experiences that everyone had on that day.
Addressing the tragedy directly was hard.
Where were you when the world stopped turning that September
day.
Country singer Alan Jackson, for one, felt a little uncomfortable when a song he wrote late one night and performed for the first time at the Country Music Awards shot his new album to the top of the country charts.
Did you feel guilty cause you're a survivor? In a crowded room, did you feel alone?
I just didn't know if I wanted to write a song about it, first of all, because I didn't want it to look like I was using some tragedy to benefit from it, you know, my career, and I didn't want to come across that way at all.
Hollywood, too, has struggled, not sure of just what note to strike.
This is one of those things that is just too serious, too scary.
Television has tried, directly.
Are you telling me the Kumari defense minister may have ordered an attack on the Golden Gate Bridge?
We're not ready to say.
Or obliquely.
But we have to show them a good time. It's our patriotic duty as women of New York.
Many producers have tipped their hats to the victims of 9/11. On the final episode of Ally McBeal, Ally moves to New York. Her parting gift?
It's a necklace. It's the remains of the Trade Center.
It's beautiful.
This is the necklace, designed by producer David E. Kelly's sister-in-law, Rona Pfeiffer. After the broadcast, dozens of them were auctioned off on eBay, and the proceeds went to benefit the victims of the terror attacks. Movies don't seem to have changed much at all.
As far as the movie industry, it would seem that the net effect of September 11th was nil.
Movies are still as violent as ever, but the violence seems abstract because the villains are so unreal. Notice how the terrorists in movies don't ever look like Osama bin Laden.
There's almost a perverse desire on the part of Hollywood to whitewash, it seems to me, the connection between militant Islam and world terrorism.
Little by little, the culture is absorbing all this, processing it, even laughing at its absurdity.
We are now under the auspices of Homeland Security. And they had to be very careful picking that name, Homeland Security. You couldn't say Fatherland because a lot of old Germans are going, that's a good one.
Who am I?
1 year later,
I'm Spider-Man.
Pop culture overwhelmingly betrays our nostalgia, our wish to get back to the way things were before. This summer, conspiracy, fear, and survival were once again forms of entertainment. Reality as an escape from reality. David Wright, ABC News, Hollywood.
I remember we're all in the country different about this. We all have different temperature levels about this. Some people wanted Letterman to come back even before he came back. Jon Stewart, the same. And I think it was Charles Krauthammer, the columnist, if it wasn't, I apologize, who wrote recently in one of these reappraisals on the first anniversary, American frivolity is one of the world's joys. It is the expression of an unprecedented happiness, and so we should never be self-conscious about it. Mr. Krauthammer, I think it was his point of view.